Hi everyone, welcome and thanks for joining us tonight. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce you something big. Today, I would like to talk to you about information and data. I would like to talk about how it's important to gather data information to make changes, to make positive impacts, to protect and defend what we like. But before that, let me tell you a story. Almost 25 years ago, I was probably around 10, 11 years old, with my sibling and my cousins and my girlfriends. We went for a walk in the mountain, a mountain that we knew very, very well. It was a beautiful summer day. Halfway through the walk, a storm hit us. There were thunders, there were floods. It was really, really intense. We got lost. We spent 3 hours on the mountains, and it took a long time for people to rescue us. It was a very intense experience for everyone involved. You know, we didn't have any phone. Our parents didn't have any phone. We didn't know about the granular information about weather and data that we know today. Like, that storm really hit us from nowhere. I also remember that when they rescued us, it took a long time to inform all the family members about our finding us alive. 25 years after, I've got 2 beautiful girls, and they are 6 and 9. I know where they are most of the time. They got a smart little watch. They can send GPS locations, and they can send SMS. You know, data of a GPS location as SMS is tiny, but it can make the change between safety, reuniting to your family, and some bad consequences. So I found absolutely unbelievable how in the past 25 years we've gone through this amazing technology growth. It's my lifetime, it's our lifetime, and it's just beautiful to watch. What I find also impressive that despite all this growth, that mountain in Italy is still unconnected. And that has to change. What is the next breakthrough on connectivity? That's always something that stimulates us to enter into this business. I love history. So if you look at the biggest breakthrough and the biggest growth of humankind, they were always enabled by connectivity. The impact on industry, our life, has been immense. The way we connect always spark a revolution of thoughts, of innovations, of ideas. So we started with telegraph cables connecting cities, then we connected businesses, then we went to create GSM and Wi-Fi, then we connect ourselves, and now we're enjoying our 3G, 4G, 5G, maybe 6G. Wi-Fi is unlimited, it's perfect, we don't even care. Because it's the layers that we're building on top of it that are interesting, right? Satellites always kind of fit in the gaps. They've never been used at full potential, really globally, to cover everything. It's kind of always held back by one reason or the other. Access to space, power-hungry terminals on the ground, lower speed, and really expensive cost to build the satellite. Space is hard. It's always been really hard. You know, if we think about where we're at with the world, and this is what really drives me every day to come to work, is that we are in a moment in which there is a big change in the world. There is a big change with our planet, and technologies need to keep up. This is the time. We are in this very particular time in history in which connectivity is going to do this again. But technology needs to change. What I found super interesting is that, you know, the biggest battle for the planet that we are experiencing right now, climate change, that we all know about, is just not something that we are going to fight in the cities. It's a battle that's going to be fought in remote areas. It's going to be fought in places with no connectivity. It's going to be fought in places with no visibility. Energy, resources, water, food, they come to us in the city from remote areas. It's hard to be visible of what they have, all these immense assets. They are the survival of our humankind. They are produced in places where connectivity is not present. The nature of our world sits on infrastructure that are unconnected. And I always found that very, very, very fascinating. Climate change is affecting all these basic. It's influencing food chains, it's influencing resources, it's influencing energy and water. So the pressure is infinite to make sure that these assets are good and in good place and taken care of. I was fascinated to watch that in the International Agency for Energy is stating that in 2050, we need to produce 26,600 gigawatts of energy. And they had to be all renewables just in order to reach net zero in 2050. And at this point in time, we just have 1/10 of that. 2050 is not far. What needs to happen? If there's 26,600 gigawatts of power, just solar, that will cover the entire country of Spain. We now have to build all this infrastructure to make this vision possible. This infrastructure is not going to be in our backyard. It's not going to be just on your roof. It's going to be in remote areas. And it's our responsibility to make sure that this infrastructure is built properly to reach this goal, monitored, controlled, maintained, and the right data flow and connectivity is holding this vision back. What's the future of connectivity is then, what the world really needs, it has to be a network that is truly global, real-time, and unlimited. And it's gonna be powered by satellites. Remember when you had your phone and you were used to have limited broadband? And every month you're like, oh, every 2 gigabytes, oh my God, we need to buy a better package. And no, it's not like this. Now, you have this $14 a month unlimited data and you do all the things because that's not the point. Because connectivity is not the point. The point is the growth on top of it, the technologies, the growth, the innovation that can build on top of it. We need to allow the deserts, mountains, oceans to achieve the same freedom. If you don't do this, we are here for nothing. If you don't unlock the game, you are here for nothing. If we cannot give unlimited data to everyone in the world to access satellites data and connect this, we are here for nothing. What I really love, if you look at history again, is that if you understand tech, if you understand technology, it's always a moment when a lot of things comes together. Think about computers in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Computers were there. But what happened in the 80s is that computer became available for everyone. When kind of a lot of technology entered a very special sweet spot, the technology for computer were affordable and available for everyone. This is the moment in history in which everyone could access data, use data, build businesses on top of data. And it was a moment. And that moment is happening now with satellites. Satellite technologies are not new. We've been launching satellites for 60 years. In the next 7 years, what is going to happen is that the satellite market is going to double. After 60 years steady growth, and it's an exponential growth. It's not a little growth, it's an exponential growth. So why is it happening now? It's happening now for several reasons. The access to space and the cost to access to space is decreased. The computing power is getting better. Miniaturization of components. This is a sweet spot in a lot of technology coming together. And this is why satellites are going to enable the next leapfrog of humanity. And of course, market says there are 125 billion devices that are coming online in the coming years. And someone will connect them all, and someone will stay behind. When we started Fleet, we saw this vision, and we still see it, and we still believe it. I think this is going to be the big change in history. And we started to build a network to kind of meet this future need. And we did it in a very, very total, agile spirit, okay? In the true spirit of agile. So we started with a network 4 years ago of 2 satellites called Proxima. They were as big as a milk jug. Then 2 years after, we launched Centauri 1 and T. They were double the size, probably like a shoebox. This year, we launched Centauri 3 and 4, double the size again. Centauri 3 and 4, particularly Centauri 4, did something special though. It's something absolutely that positioned us as global leader in this industry. We built the first digital beamforming system for small satellites. Let me repeat this again. Fleet, these beautiful companies in South Australia, built the first digital beamforming system for small satellites, when everyone said that that would have been impossible. But why is digital beamforming really important on more scale? What is really important to understand that we are going to go into a time in which many satellites are going to go to space. And it's not just about sending big things, it's about efficiency. Because we cannot save the world creating another problem. We need to make sure that we launch efficient platform. We need to make sure that we got performance. Beamforming has specific capabilities that allows you in a really little space to get a lot of throughput. And we have spent time and a lot of money with an amazing team to crack this. What it means that we can match speeds of satellites as big as a car. In this room, there are some of our customers. Welcome, and thanks for coming. For me, it's an honor to have here from, head of the space agency to end users. This is what Space 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 is all about. We got partners, we got customers in mining, in energy. We have a functional satellite system that is producing a service. And it's producing a service worldwide with a lot of customers. So in our growth, it's time to reach, again, in the very true nature of Agile, the new frontiers. And the new frontiers is a satellite system that is going to not have any compromise anymore. Because what Fleet has done the past couple of years is that demonstrated that we can do space, and we can do space very well. And we can do space very commercial and a very, very high level. So let me introduce you to our new satellite system. I would like to introduce you to Alpha. Alpha is the holy grail of connectivity. Low cost, high speed, unlimited data from every side of the world. Let me tell you, for everyone that is not a rocket scientist, why this is very, very interesting. I'm a rocket scientist. So, let me show you more or less how the satellite comms market works today. Because it's a complex market. And as I told you before, it's a market that is been in the making for the past 60 years. What have we got at this point in time? Particularly for what I call machine-to-machine, Internet of Things, connecting assets, connecting infrastructure. We got this interesting market in which new players are trying to provide low-cost connectivity for bits of data. And then there are, of course, the current low Earth orbit and geosatellite constellation, the incumbents that have been building billion-dollar constellation that are trying to optimize their constellation here and there. But what they provide is in this M2M world and our Internet of Things world, they provide high speed. But they're very, very extremely big platform and expensive. Our dream was always, is there a sweet spot? Is there a way to allow a high-speed satellite and constellation of satellites to actually be very low cost, to create the same things that happen with computer and democratize the entire exercise and move to unlimited data and give access to satellite to everything? We were there. We were at that spot. We started there. We started, hey, we're going to have low cost, we're going to have meet some data, we're going to do something different. But now we can do more. But, the think about doing more is because we don't want to compromise anymore. When you build a satellite system, it's not about giving the opportunity to connect one thing here, one thing there, because the world is changing. And the infrastructure will need more data. Do you know the feeling when you have your first phone and you were happy with anything? I'm just calling my mom. And now, if you cannot have high streaming of flying cars, without interruption, it's not good, because we get used to the feeling of having high data, limited data, a lot of high-speed data, because that's underpin our growth. So we could not stop of being there. We had to go there. But how did we manage to go there? How we did do this? Because, all the incumbents, all the new players that work on this in this angle, they have resources. They've got money. They are innovators. They've been working for the past 20 years. So why fleet? Why are we there? Why is Alpha there? Why is Alpha providing high speed, low cost, and unlimited connectivity? What is the key? The first thing, there are little things that we have done that are important, but there are a few big things. The first one is 3D printing. We all know 3D printing. Except the space industry is taking time to adjust to this way of manufacturing. 4 years ago, we entered in a mission of 3D print antennas and RF. It is a very complex mission, because Fleet built the first 3D printing patch antenna for small satellites in the world. And that took a lot of knowledge, and it took a lot of expertise, because this is RF. And the size is complicated. And this little antenna creates performance that is so big. It creates performance never seen before. It took us all our strength, all our knowledge, all our team time to build this, and we launched in Spain, and it worked, and we nailed it. And we were the only one in the world. We wanted to start where it was more complicated. That's 3D print, RF, antennas. Now we can do everything. But we're going to do this everything now, because Alpha is the first satellite constellation that's going to be completely 3D printed. Completely. So it's going to open up a world of opportunities, sometimes, like, I think also for future in-space manufacturing, maybe? 3D printing an entire constellation of satellites means speed, flexibility, means something and an edge that no one has, because no one is doing it. And we have demonstrated that we can. Manufacturing is the edge nowadays. I don't own a rocket yet. Stay tuned. But what is important is that how can we achieve something that no one has achieved? And you know what I was talking about, the sweet spot of technologies coming at this in one moment in history, you need to leverage it. And we're going to 3D print everything. But 3D print is not the only thing that this beautiful satellite has, because of course, it's got beamforming. The two things that we managed to do are very special to us, and our capabilities are coming together. Centauri has got 4 patch antennas. You've probably seen photos here and there. You see these beautiful antennas in a row. Alpha, they got 64 patches. This is 16 times more performance that were already extremely high for a small satellite, just 4 times the weight. We move away from the nanosatellite standard. Thanks to the nanosatellite standard for helping us for the past 20 years, but it's time to graduate. We are building a satellite around the beamforming. It's thin, it's a pizza. You can stack it, you can launch it, it's different. Sorry to use the pizza, comparison, but I had to, okay? This is something that, just the people that understand how important it is to be efficient in space, changing the rule. We're changing the rule here. Like, we are changing the rule. We are not going where everyone is going. We are going 3D printer. We are going all patch antennas. We are building a bus, and we are doing whole here. We are going to vertically integrate, because this is going to give us the edge to achieve something that companies investing $10 billion and never managed to achieve. And again, this is going to give us the opportunity to have the same speed and match the speed that satellites as big as a small car can achieve. So it changes the efficiency. But what are we going to do? One thing that is also important is why we are doing this. Why do we want to go there? There is something that we call a fleet, this strategy of nodes, drones, phones. Something very important to us. And, we're very happy to share with you. The application in the next 30 years, the satellites we leverage are still live vision. We know many things. We know about infrastructures. We know about hydroelectric. We know about power generation. We know about hydrogen plants. We know about all the things that need to be connected with high-level data. But there are drones that are coming. There is advanced robotics. All these very complex things need a lot of connectivity, not just a couple of bytes. And then there are phones. It is time that this world is moving to a place where phones and connectivity and satellites become videos and SMS and everything to satellites. No compromise. Let's just make it happen. This is the world of applications. And that type of technology allow the world of application to happen. When you can bring so radically down the cost of a system in space and you can give unlimited data, I will not be surprised if that racing cars, streaming activity will happen through satellites in a few years. And that's where we want to go. My dream is that I don't want to see other 25 years passing till other girls get lost in the woods without no one knowing where they are. It is time to make it happen, this promise of satellites. But I think something needed to change, and we are changing it, and we're pretty sure, as we always do, that we're going to deliver. You know, if you're here in this room tonight, I think, Ryan said that very nicely. It's because we all think that each of you have kind of contributed to this journey. You supported us, you keep supporting us. What we want to demonstrate to you now is just not about you supporting us, it's about us supporting your industries. It's about bringing satellites to your life and connect everything in every industry you are.
Alpha 1 is going to be launched in 1 year. The pre-orders will start at the beginning of 2022. So please, book your spot.